All right, welcome in. It's a brand new edition of the RSL Show. I'm Alex Napoles. That's Josh Clark. He's Carson Lantz, and we're here to bring you the latest and the greatest with RSL Salt Lake. But before we get into RSL Salt Lake talk, a lot of helpful and some not so helpful results happening in the Western Conference for RSL Salt Lake as they try to push for the playoffs. Some things that do help out RSL Salt Lake: Nashville beating Houston 3-1. Colorado and Minnesota tying 1-1. San Jose with a 1-0 win against San Diego FC. That one doesn't help Real Salt Lake at all, but what does help Real Salt Lake is a 2-2 draw for Portland and FC Dallas. The table, it's looking more manageable now that Real Salt Lake gets the 3 points.
Dude, absolutely. That was a big 3 points too. We all had our doubts, obviously, right? But it was good to see them finally put together a result.
Yes.
Just straight. I know it was a rotated Austin team, which definitely went in our favor. But we scored more than one goal, which made me very happy, right? And we weren't terribly defensively, so it's really refreshing to not have an extremely frustrating game of soccer to watch.
Yeah, I think I'm up there with Josh. It was very satisfying to get more than one goal, and to also finish it off with that last goal as well was kind of a big sigh of relief, and we didn't blow a lead at home to I didn't even know Austin FC was like top 6 in the Western Conference. I was like, why would I want to go watch this game? Like, these teams both suck. And then all of a sudden you look at the standings and Austin's actually having a good season. So I felt like a pretty dumb for saying that one.
Not only that, but Austin FC also in the Open Cup final. They'll play that one on Wednesday against Nashville. And that's why you saw a rotated Austin FC at home against Real Salt Lake. They have a final. They got an Open Cup final and a ticket to a CONCACAF Champions League spot if they can pull it off against Austin FC. Against Nashville SC. So, makes sense for the rotated lineup for Austin. In this one, for Real Salt Lake, though, they come out full strength. You got Rafa Cabral in goal, DeAndre Edlin on the right, Glad Vera, the 2 center backs, and Alex Catranis. You know, I say full strength, but then I remember the conversation we had last week, Josh, about Glad and Vera.
It's full strength for what we have.
Yes.
It's to be expected, right?
Yes.
But agreed.
That's a good way to put it. Brian Ojeda and Noel Caliscan in the midfield. Diogo Gonçalves, Diego Luna, Ruan Cruz, Victor Ulatunji up top.
Yeah, so you still sticking with your full strength with 2 of those in the midfield?
I would say probably the only one is Caliscan.
Gross.
Because everybody else,
anyway.
No Gozo, right? So, I mean, who else are you going to slide in over on that right side? It makes sense for it to be Diogo Gonçalves. Emeka Nelly, and when you have both Emeka Nelly and Pablo Ruiz on the bench, it's an interesting choice to continue to put your faith into Noel Caliscan.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it one bit.
He just communicates better. He just communicates better.
He's a good communicator, man. But he did have a much better performance this go around than his last start in midfield, so I'll give him that.
I wonder what that conversation is. I wonder what what's happening behind the scenes for Emeka Nelly to just all of a sudden lose his spot.
Like, start of the year captain, consistent starter, and now we're seeing Noel Caliscan take his spot. I don't like it.
Yeah, head scratching. Against LAFC, it is Caliscan and Ojeda. In that second game on the road. In that first game, it was Ojeda and Anelli. I can't remember anything, it was a poor performance for Real Salt Lake all around. I don't remember Emeka Anelli, doing anything to lose his spot.
Yeah, nothing stood out worse than the rest of the team did, right?
Right.
I think it can. My thing is that you could say rotation, but at the same time, it's like, why would you be rotating at a time like this in the season when you obviously need your best team playing? It's basically do or die right now. So it's what's going on in the locker room is Anelli maybe not fully fit yet, or did he pick up another injury or something that we don't know about, or does Pablo Mastroeni just like think Caliscan's just that much better than Anelli in practice, and he just giving him starts?
Slow start from RSL. Not too much happening in the first 20 minutes for either side, really. A couple of long-distance shots and long-distance efforts from Real Salt Lake. One that comes to mind, one from Diogo Gonçalves at about the 20th minute. That was probably really the only chance and really the only big opportunities that Real Salt Lake had to test Brad Stuver in the early goings. Not a fan of that, mostly because this is a rotated Austin side, right? The lineup is very different from what you would expect from a full-strength Austin FC. And I felt like, Real Salt Lake has to take advantage of testing Brad Stuver early in this one. Has to put some shots on target and create a little bit more in the attack to try to catch an Austin FC that's, clearly focused and clearly looking ahead to their game on Wednesday, to the Open Cup final. But Real Salt Lake didn't do much to test this Austin team at all for the first 20 minutes.
I mean, is that really a surprise, though?
No, considering, what we saw against LAFC, not really.
I think the bigger surprise is that we actually scored 3 goals, if I'm being completely honest.
Again, though, does that happen if Real Salt Lake or if Austin FC are full strength and not focused on a Champions League or not focused on an Open Cup game on Wednesday?
I don't think so. Genuinely. No. I guess we'll see what, the next 3 games look like with teams that have to win for seeding, right?
Yeah.
And don't have finals to focus on. So we may have picked up this result, but we're so far out of the woods still, even though we're right on the cusp. It's not an easy path, right?
Yeah.
We're looking at a very dark forest we have to walk into and hope we can get out of it.
Yep. I did like Ruan Cruz's chance in that first half.
Mm-hmm.
Good passing from Real Salt Lake, ball out wide. Yedlin plays it into space for Diogo. Diogo crosses it into the box to Cruz, and then Cruz pokes it through, but Stuver comes up with a good save at the near post. Still waiting for that Ruan Cruz goal, man. Again, I've been impressed with Ruan Cruz. I like what we've seen from Cruz. The goal from Cruz is missing.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's going to be great when he does score one. I still have high hopes for him, right? We obviously can't make any kind of judgments on him anytime soon, like firm judgments. But I like what I see, but a goal I think would make everyone feel a whole lot better.
I mean, it's hard to judge him, but at the same time, I like what I see off and on the ball, but for me to be satisfied, I need to see a goal hit the back of the net.
He still continues to find himself in the right spots at the right time, as far as pushing the ball forward, as far as being inside the box in dangerous positions. You just need the goal. And if we talked about it a couple weeks ago. I feel like once the goal comes from Cruz, the floodgates will open. We do get a goal from Real Salt Lake though prior to right before the end of the first half. A ball that comes out to the back post. Katrenis does a good job of recycling that ball and settles it back to Brian Ojeda off the throw-in, and then Ojeda curls it, gets a little bit lucky with the deflection.
Gets kind of a huge deflection, let's be honest.
Gets a little lucky with the deflection, and it curls into Brad Stuver's near post. Stuver can't get to it, and it goes into the back of the net. Brian Ojeda, though, adds another to his tally and continues to have the phenomenal season that he's having. I think, it hasn't been the greatest season for Real Salt Lake as far as picking up points, as far as picking up wins, but Ojeda has been as consistent and as reliable as just about anybody in this league, and I think that Brian Ojeda he's the most important piece of that midfield, man.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. This is his best goal scoring streak of his career, is it not? Yeah, he's a key part of this team, and it sucks to see his best season so far wasted.
Yeah, that's the only part that sucks about it.
Yeah, unless they go on some Cinderella run, which I wouldn't put my money on it, right? But that could redeem it a bit. But yeah, it sucks for him, and I can honestly kind of see why he's ready to go to Europe. Right, we've talked about it before, but having a season like this at the age he's at, it's really his last chance. So I hope he gets that opportunity.
Yeah, I think it definitely sucks to see that his best season with RSL has been one of the worst seasons we've seen from RSL in a while.
It's the
And,
worst since 2005, Carson.
actually,
Actually,
On par with
jeez,
2016.
man, I was 2 years old when we were that bad.
Oh, jeez.
That's crazy.
If we drop the next
That's crazy.
if we drop the next 9 points, it may be the worst season we've ever had points wise.
Okay.
Points per game or something like that.
And
or I'm way off, but yeah.
how much of the average fan knows that stat though?
It was put out there by Caleb Turner last week.
I'm not convinced that the average fan knows about that because
Probably not.
because if people see this, obviously, we had one of our best seasons. Arguably one of our best seasons
It was the
last
best
year
as far as
the
points
stat.
go. It
Yes.
was
The
the
best.
best as far as points go.
To now one of our worst seasons since 2005. If that doesn't open people's eyes up of what's going on right now, then I don't know what will, because that's bad. That's really bad.
You know what's really bad for Real Salt Lake and fans realizing how bad it is right now? One of the biggest things, Ted Lasso.
Elaborate.
Ted Lasso was not a good coach, right?
Yeah.
But his attitude, his demeanor, his quotes, his positivity kept him around. Right? He's the lovable coach, not the winning coach.
Good communication.
That's my elaboration. I'm not saying Pablo's Ted Lasso, right? Pablo has found success, but a lot of people I feel like are thinking, oh, he can pull through this. We just have to be positive. And I could just be being a hater right now because I'm fairly grumpy, but that's my hot take.
Also hot take. Not necessarily hot take, but more of a recognition of patterns.
Uh-huh.
In 2016, the Colorado Rapids had their best season in club history.
And then what happened?
They finished in second place overall. They were the second place in the Supporter Shield standings, right?
Uh-huh.
They were in second place in the Western Conference. They made it all the way to the conference finals, and this was all, of course, under head coach Pablo Mastroeni.
Uh-huh. But then what happened the next year?
In 2017, Pablo didn't even make it to the end of the season.
Yeah,
they went from their best season in recent history, right, outside of winning that MLS Cup in 2010. Similarly, again, to Real Salt Lake, right? Patterns. There was a pattern with Real Salt Lake when they won 2009. Colorado wins it the next year. You fast forward now to the 2016 season. It is the best as far as points go for Colorado Rapids. And then the next season, Pablo doesn't even make it to the end of the year before he's let go.
Yup.
Doesn't qualify for playoffs. And I bring this up because, again, I'm a big, I recognize those patterns. I find those patterns interesting, right?
There's also the patterns of the last few seasons, excluding this one, where we've started really hot and then absolutely collapsed. Right? Patterns exist over the last few seasons in so many ways with the staff. So, not to mention substitution patterns.
Real Salt Lake up 1-0 heading into the break. I thought they came out of the second half looking well, pushing the ball forward well. Diogo does a good job of picking out DeAndre Yedlin's late run into the box. Yedlin, all by himself, just has to put it past Brad Stuver, hits a rocket past Stuver, and makes it 2-0 for Real Salt Lake. At this point, I'm feeling good.
Yeah, I'm fairly confident about a result at this point.
But I'm not 100% sold that Real Salt Lake can pick up the 3 points yet.
No, definitely not. There was still the fear of a draw for sure.
There was, well, and then two, because you look at Austin FC's bench, and I mean, all their stars are on their bench, and you knew the second that they subbed in, that could change the entire complexity of the game.
Especially
Because
with who was coming off of our bench.
there you go. Austin FC does make those changes in the 72nd minute, right? Daniel Pereira checks in, Ozuni, their DP checks in, Bukhari checks in, Owen Wolf checks in. Luckily, though, for Real Salt Lake, I think they make the changes, but it doesn't really change the complexity of the game, in my opinion. Because I think Austin is still fully focused on Wednesday.
Yeah, they became slightly more dangerous, and obviously they pick up a goal, but it was never in doubt that we would get points.
Yeah.
Right? They weren't applying immediate crazy pressure that would make you worried.
Yeah, I was watching the game on and off, and just Austin FC didn't really seem to bring much. And at the same time, it's like I didn't even notice they weren't even playing like their main guys, because that's how much I haven't kept up with Austin FC this season. But at the same time, I was still like not satisfied until we got like that first lucky goal with RSL. But I just feel like we still could have done better. But I mean,
At least we responded. And
yeah.
to be quite honest, I didn't really feel satisfied with the result until the Olatunji goal at the end.
Yes, that was a nice icing on the cake. Being like, all right, Olatunji's feeling himself and he's getting going, and that I think that'll help out our attack.
Yep.
My favorite thing about that goal was the fact that Max Bretos and Brian Dunseth are on the call, and they're having a conversation about Olatunji, and then literally within seconds, about talking about wanting to get him more involved, wanting to get him more goals. Diego Luna plays a good ball in behind the defense. Olatunji uses his speed, just has to basically chip it around Brad Stuver, makes it 3-0, and at that point, I think I'm satisfied with the results.
And that gave him a goal and an assist, correct?
Yes.
So that's his best performance right there. He was one of the stars of the night for me.
Probably my man of the match.
Yeah.
For sure.
I agree. Olatunji stands out, I think, above everyone else. Is just his presence in the attack and in the air, and I like how aggressive he is too. He's no pushover in this league. He's coming from Sparta Prague, playing some Champions League, and he's bringing that experience over to MLS, and he's not going to let anyone push him around.
He reminds me a bit of Sabo, man.
Yeah, different ways. Sabo was definitely a hold-up guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely with the strength, winning aerial duels, stuff like that. A lot of similarities.
3-0. Good to see Olatunji get on the score sheet. Second goal of the season for number 17. Didn't like Real Salt Lake not being able to hold the clean sheet.
Nope.
Again, with how much Glad has struggled over the course of the last couple of weeks, with how much we've seen Vera struggle over the course of the last couple of weeks, with how much Real Salt Lake have struggled defensively, I thought, holding a clean sheet and keeping a clean sheet would have been absolutely massive for the confidence of that defense heading into the most important matches of the season for Real Salt Lake. And instead, it's late, 92nd minute, in added time. Austin is able to pull one back, completely unmarked into the box. Does a good job to head it past Cabral. I thought Cabral could have probably done a better job as well, too, on the save. But not a fan of not being able to hold that clean sheet.
No, and just another soft goal we've given up, right?
Yeah.
That's the frustrating part. Just so soft back there.
It's hard for me to add anything right now. I don't know about you guys, but I mean everyone's getting positives from this win, but I'm still I keep saying this every podcast, but I'm just disappointed as the next guy, as this season overall. I feel like it's just leading up to the beginning of the season, kind of like everyone telling us how good we were going to be, to now it's just like as a team, as a guy that puts time and effort into covering this team and also like is a fan at the same time, it's hard, you know, putting a lot of work into the team and then just seeing how it's happening. You know, that life happens and you can only do so much. So
Yeah, it's just not been an enjoyable season overall.
exactly.
There's been way more lows than highs, right? Between the blowout losses, the disciplinary issues, you know, team drama with
Still,
stuff that we'll get into later. Overall, I'm tired, man. I'm tired. I'm real close to retiring.
he's
It's a crusty old man now, yelling at my
jeez.
lawn about Real Salt Lake. No, but that win really was refreshing, though.
Yeah.
I'm really glad we didn't have to get on here today and be mad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think with a loss at home against Austin, we're probably talking about an E next to Real Salt Lake's name.
Yeah, and that's the crazy part is we're one loss away from very potential elimination.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not great.
It helps out when you have that game in hand. However, we're at that point now with 3 games left. You lose, and let's say a Houston or a San Jose or anybody, within that 8 to 13 range where Rouse Lake's at, that very well could put an E next to your name.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is a must-win from here on out.
And that's scary.
Considering what you have to do in those 3 games, it is pretty daunting.
Not to mention, you got to not lose the Rocky Mountain Cup again at home. That's bigger than any of it. If we had to choose right now between taking that cup from Colorado or making the playoffs, I'm picking taking the cup from Colorado.
Wow.
All day.
Wow.
Yes. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't mind that either. You get an early off season, but then you get to take home silverware at the same time from your rival.
Yeah, not let Colorado have it.
Yeah.
Right? We don't want to become the little brothers. We've been the big brother for so long.
Last couple of games, Colorado's had Rouse Lake's number, man.
I know, and I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it so much.
I'm not sure what to anticipate or expect from this Colorado team, mostly because I think since losing Georgie, they haven't been the same Colorado. I like what I've seen from Paxton, right, taking over and coming over and filling in that role that Georgia leaves behind.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know if right now Paxton is at the level you saw Georgie play.
No, I mean, he was having one of the best years of his career.
Yeah.
So either way, Georgie or no Georgie, it was going to be a tough game for RSL, and it will be a tough game for RSL.
Yes.
So they need to be there and be ready to play. Right? This cup needs to stay home. It does not belong in Colorado.
It's funny you guys bring up Paxton Aronson because I was about to be like, what exactly has he replaced? Because ever since that guy has gone to Colorado, I haven't heard anything about him at all. It's been absolutely crickets over in Colorado for Paxton Aronson.
Yeah,
and like, look,
I thought there would be a bit of more of a media storm about him, right?
And look, like I like Paxton
game
Aronson
too, so
yeah,
that kind of took all the attention away.
I don't know. I don't feel like if you are a young player and you are wanting to redevelop your career and shine, I don't think Colorado is the correct place to go. I don't care what staff they have in place. I don't care how good their academy is. I'm not convinced Chris Armas is a good coach. I'll leave it right there.
I agree.
You probably haven't heard much from Paxton or about Paxton Aronson joining Colorado because since he's joined Colorado, no goals, no assists. Still yet to come in and replace the Mihalovic production.
Well, let's cross our fingers that he doesn't start replacing that against us.
But it would be very on par with Real Salt Lake for them to.
So on
yeah.
brand, right?
Yep.
What would happen is they would play their backup keeper. He'd have a lights out game. We'd pummel that goal, but we would score no goals, and then Paxton will score like 3.
Since joining Colorado Rapids, since Paxton joining Colorado Rapids, they've lost 3-0 to the LA Galaxy. They've lost 4-2 to Sporting Kansas City. They beat Houston 2-1. They lost 3-1 to FC Dallas, and then they tied 1-1 to Minnesota. I think eventually Paxton will get to that level that where, you're producing like a Georgi Mihailovic and you're able to replace that. But I think for now, Colorado's not been very consistent and they've not been very good. Does that mean absolutely anything when you're going to take on Real Salt Lake and it's a Rocky Mountain rivalry game?
Nope. It goes all out the window.
Goes all out the window because Colorado are. I promise you, the Colorado podcasters right now are having the exact same conversation that we're having and saying those guys cannot win the cup.
Yep. Oh, if they're not, I'm concerned. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That'd be a fun show. I wonder if there's any cool Colorado podcasters. I doubt it, but a little banter show could be a good time.
Have a crossover with Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
So with 3 games left, Real Salt Lake sitting in 11th place with 37 points. FC Dallas in 10th with 38. San Jose in 9th with 38. Colorado in 8th with 40. In 7th, Portland with 44. And then just below Real Salt Lake in 12th, Houston with 36. So Houston still in the race, still got a shot. San Jose and Colorado hanging on for dear life in those play-in spots. FC Dallas currently down from currently out of that play-in spot, tied with points right now with San Jose because of the tiebreakers, and then of course Real Salt Lake just 1 point out from the play-in.
It's so tight. It's so crazy.
The margin for error is bar none. Very, very little.
Oh, we'll see what the boys are made out of, won't we?
Real Salt Lake at home against Colorado this weekend. 7:30 kickoff at America First Field. It's the last home game of the season, too, so make sure to go out, go support, and go cheer on Real Salt Lake as they try to make a push for the playoffs. 3 games left, final game at home, and it comes, of course, to your rivals in the Colorado Rapids. Guys, anything else you want to say? Anything else you want to add? Anything else you want to throw out there before we wrap this one up?
Nope.
We spank them.
That'll do, I guess. That'll
Worst
do.
side of the Rockies coming over the best side of the Rockies. We're home, right?
We are home.
Yeah.
Final home game of the year.
Yes, sir.
So with that, that's going to do it for us here on the RSL Show. Don't forget to go like. Don't forget to go subscribe. Don't forget to go do what you have to do to follow the RSL Show for the best RSL content. And we'll talk to you guys next week after this Colorado game.